What's going on with y'all, man? I remember when I first got saved, uh, I didn't really know God, but I knew Christianity. I knew like the routine of how to be a Christian. So like, I first started, like going to church more, and then I was like reading my word more, and I was getting like a whole lot of head knowledge. You know what I mean? I was getting head knowledge. I was getting a lot of verses down. Logically, I could see how it would make sense. I was kind of formulating an argument against atheists and stuff like that. I was getting deep into apologetics. Ravi Zacharias, that dude that did the case. He a detective. Anyways, I was doing all of this stuff, right? J. Warner Wallace, that's his name. But anyways, I was doing all of this, and as I started being in more interactions with people that weren't Christian, people that didn't know God also, I felt led. I would feel like there's something I'm supposed to say. I would feel like there's something that I could tell this person to make their life better. Because essentially I know that my God is the true God. So it's like, once I say this to you who really needs to hear it, even like right after a message on Sunday, I would be like, man, I know at least 10 people that need to hear this message. And as I started maturing in the faith, man, and after like I really got to know who God is and like to encounter God, he transformed that entire mindset. You know what I mean? So like, instead of doing like the Christian routine, and like instead of things being a head knowledge, it became more of like a lifestyle. Like knowing God became a lifestyle. Everything that I would do, I was doing with God now. So even when I was at church, right, and I would get something, I would receive the word, I would hear what they're saying. Before I would even think of people, there would be something in my heart that says, how does this pertain to you specifically? What do you gain from this? How can you grow after you've heard this? When I read the word, it was more like a revelation of like what I was reading, or basically like a deeper understanding that I understood that, wow, I could actually be practical and use this in my day-to-day life. Why am I making this video? I was thinking about, not too long ago, I was having a conversation with a friend, well, acquaintance, and I heard them talking about like, why do people smoke weed? Like, it's obviously bad for you. You shouldn't smoke. When you smoke, it's just, why can't you just stop? You know what I mean? And that was his perspective. It was someone that hasn't smoked before. They haven't smoked before. So, it was easy. I could see how easy it is to sit in that seat of judgment and look at someone else and say, how do you smoke? Like, why do you even do that? Like, why don't you just give that to God and release that to God? And then that person also made me think of like grandparents, or people from the older generation, or people that's in your family that are religious, or people from the church that you might have went to that echo that same voice. And it's like, it seems that their focus is pointing at the things that you're doing as far as your flaws. So like, why are you gay? Don't you know being a homosexual will send you to hell? Why are you gay? Or like, why do you smoke weed? Don't you know those that are not sober-minded and doing those things are against God? Why are you drunk? Don't you know drinking alcohol will not inherit the kingdom of God? Like, why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you lie? Why do you watch porn? Why do you have sex? Why do you do all of these things? Sex outside of marriage. Why do you do all these things? It's easy to sit in that seat. And then I pay attention to like when Jesus came, right? Like Jesus had the phenomenal teachings. And really, this is why I make a distinction between knowing God and being a Christian. Because knowing God and living to be Jesus-like, wanting your entire life to look like Jesus is more effective in impacting the world that you live in than being a Christian and knowing the Christian things and doing the Christian things. That's two completely different lives. And I know because I lived the Christian life of just doing the Christian things. Now, let me say, I'm a Christian, obviously, but a lot of people say that. So I like to make the distinction of there's, doing a Christian thing and then there's knowing God. Which is a spiritual thing that has to, like, something transforms on the inside, as it pertains to that. So anyways, why do I bring that up? You will not make an impact on anyone. And I'm more so talking, I guess, to Christians, but I guess anybody could really receive this. You will not make an impact when you don't see people the way Jesus sees people. And the way Jesus sees people is evident in his word. When those people brought that woman that was adulterous, that woman that was out here having sex with all these people, and they were about to stone her, the way Jesus responds is evident. Because it's in love. It's in acceptance. It's in affirmation. Jesus never said this is okay, but he doesn't necessarily attack her. He doesn't attack her at all. He affirms her and shows her love and grace, which is literally how I was able to stop smoking. That literally is what I needed. It wasn't all the things that people told me to do. It wasn't people showing me in the Bible. You see right here, it says be sober-minded. It was never something like that. It was always the affirmation and the reminder of how much God loves me and how much grace and mercy he has for me, even while I'm failing, and the fact that he would even send Jesus Christ as a sacrifice knowing that I would fail him. It was all of that that really brought me to a place where I'm like, yo, okay, you had so much, like, patience with me. Here I am, you know what I mean? Oh, dang, I fail. But you still have this grace and patience with Jesus Christ dying on the cross for my sins, that it gives me confidence that, yo, I can still come back and start running this race. And really, the message I heard today was about we're not just here to get saved and then go to heaven. We're here to be fruitful. We're here to make an impact in this world. And as I think about that, the word says the only way you're truly going to do that, like the principle of the word in John 15, is talking about the only way you're going to do that is being connected and in relationship with Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody in this world, if you want to do anything that's important at all, as it pertains to you and your purpose and what you're even alive for, is connected with Jesus. But the people that are ambassadors for Jesus, the people that call themselves Christian, the people that are speaking and going out into the world, the people that are the loudest for some reason, it's like that. Where are my keys? Yeah. The people that are the loudest, the people that are on Instagram with Christian in their bio that are speaking, and people that are, they might be doing something as far as movies or film or video production or music videos, or they might be rappers and singers and all of those things, and they claim or profess to be Christians, but they don't know God. They're the people that are speaking. So the Bible talks about you being like deceived, right? Because there are people that are going to speak things that sound good, or you might resonate with it and be like, man, that's so cool. I'm glad you said that. I was just thinking that. I was just manifesting that. That was in my notebook or whatever. But they're going to be completely wrong, and they're going to be steering you towards the enemy, which is like never going to be enough. It's not going to fulfill you, versus like when someone is really following God, right? The things that they say or the direction that their life is going, the fruit that you can see from their life is going to bring you to a place where you're like, okay, I want to know God for real, So, yeah, He may not be rich. The person that truly knows God that you might encounter. I even use myself as an example. I might not be rich. You know what I mean? I'm not balling out, going crazy. You know, I don't have a huge successful platform or anything like that. But I could speak to what it's like to receive freedom. I could speak to what it's like to receive freedom from strongholds or addictions. I could speak to what it's like to receive peace in the midst of situations that are like ridiculous, like that doesn't look like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And the funny thing about that is every single person in this entire world goes through things. Every single person in this entire world goes through things where they need joy. You know, you need peace. You need to understand why you're here on this earth. Who are you expecting to give that to you? Someone that says they're Christian and they're doing things and you're doing the same, or you're trying to do the same thing that they're doing, and they're obviously, if you pay attention to the fruit, and I keep going back to the fruit because the fruit shows what type of tree, what type of plant, what type of seeds, what type of whatever is going on, you know what I mean? Man, I really brought this video, and I'm going back to the intention of you making this video. I really made this video because I was just thinking about, I want effective discipleship going on, man, amongst the Christians. And I know it's easier said than done, but if we truly like run after God and get filled with just his presence of who he is, and then internalize everything that he's showing us, you know, look at the areas of your life and allow God to help you and guide you in the midst of those things, man, the fruit that you will have, the impact that you will have will be more effective. And people will actually get to see Jesus in you versus hearing you speak Jesus and seeing something different, which turns away most people in the first place. People always speak about how I grew up in the church, but then I started seeing a whole bunch of hypocritical stuff. Yeah, you grew up in a church with people that said they were Christian, but didn't know God. Or I'll also say you could grow up in a church where people that might have known God and didn't fully go through the process of allowing him to completely transform them, which is a humility issue more than it is God's. For one, it's not God's fault, because he already said that humans in general are sinful people. Why are we looking to humans in the first place? And this is for everybody. Looking to humans in the first place and deciding that's how we're going to judge God. So it's on us as believers and disciples of Jesus Christ with how we live our life, but it's also like back up a little bit and just pay attention to that. You're putting your entire eternity in the hands of a human who more than likely didn't know God in the first place. And it's not like everybody knows God that calls himself a Christian. And that's important to know, because the people that you listen to that call themselves a Christian is how you're going to be judging God in the first place. So if a person did you dirty and they said they were a Christian, if you was in a relationship with someone that said they were a Christian and they treated you this way, if your parents say that they're Christian and you get to see like all of this hypocritical stuff, that's how you're going to frame your mind on how you see God. And more than likely in this sinful world, the world is going to send you ideologies and information in this world that like that complements that ideal, you know what I mean, that there's no God, or God is whoever you want him to be, or this and the third. There's nothing wrong with the Bible. The Bible is perfect exactly how it is. The way it's been interpreted to you might be wrong. You probably didn't take the time to truly study and do the research and go through it with the one that wrote it and created it in the first place, which is God himself. So it's easy to be in a place where you're just not getting the true revelation that you were supposed to get in the first place. And then you just ascribe all of that to God. Well, it's God's fault, so I'm going to just do my own thing. And I'm only bringing that up, man, because we all need God. We all need Jesus Christ, the true God. There's many fake gods. We need the true God, because for one, we all gonna pass away one day. But for two, we're all called with a purpose to make an impact in this world. And I want that for y'all. I want that for myself. So as I go after him, I'm making sure that I also share my life with those around me. And if one person receives that, then that's what's up, you know? Yeah, man. I said a lot. Low-key was all over the place, but if you have any questions, like, we could definitely dive deeper personally as it pertains to specific things. Do I know everything? Of course not. Duh. I don't know everything. I'm a human too. But I believe God sent us community, people in this world that know him, to go out into the world and to break bread together and to truly live out what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. You know, have lunch with people, spend time with people, check up on people, love people. You know what I mean? Like, genuinely, you know what I mean? Allow offense and don't be easily offended at everything. You know what I mean? Because it makes a difference, yo. And I'm starting to see that in people's life. I'm starting to see the difference that it makes. I'm starting to see the difference that it's making in my own life, forgiving people that done me dirty. God dang, they did me dirty. And I'm forgiving them. And God is helping me forgive them. I'm not doing that in my own power. I need God to even forgive. And I'm seeing as I forgive, my life is being changed for the better. I see the peace that I have in the midst of crazy things that are happening. I was peaceful mostly through that COVID era, man. I was definitely, God took care of me financially. You know what I mean? I was peaceful as it pertains to just my mindset, my frame of mind, as it pertains to people passing away and stuff like that. Like, that's a lot to take on, man. And people are, suicide and depression and anxiety is like at a ridiculous rate. And we're prescribing the wrong stuff, man. You know, we're basically feeding that stuff versus attacking the stuff. That's all I'm gonna say tonight. Good night.